We're on, my friend. It's really a huge honor. I mean, I was not there at the time you guys started up. I'm 40, but
hey, I wasn't there either.
but the band have been influenced a huge wave of metal band over the years, since beginning and since the years is active. So it's a huge honor to have you on the show, of course. But for people that don't recognize you, who the hell are you?
Who am I? I don't know. I better ask someone myself. No, I'm Nigel, the Saxon drummer.
Saxon has been there since the beginning of metal. They put you in the new wave of British metal band. And, fast forward to now, there's way more fans, way more people aware of what you're doing. Because at the time, there was no internet. It was playing and people talking about it. So, with the new release, how you felt and how's the band right now?
Oh, the band's great. I mean, we're just waiting to, get out on tour, really. The new album's getting some great reviews, and we're really pleased with it. And we've had the sort of delay with the pandemic, but 2 weekends ago we played a couple of shows in England. Played Hammersmith and Manchester, and they were both sold out, so it was great.
It's cool for Hammersmith. I just read the biography of Iron Maiden, and it was such like the best you can do as a band is play there at the time, and it kind of fell apart somewhere, but things are back together there, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Hammersmith, unfortunately, they keep changing the name of the gig. when we were doing it was Hammersmith Odeon, then it became Labatt's Apollo. I think it depends who's sponsoring it or owns it or whatever, But I mean, the venue inside is the same, so that's the main thing. But it's a great gig to play. It's fantastic.
Yeah, because like you said, there's an history there. So I think
there is. Yeah.
Attached to that history, even if they change the name with the sponsor, which happened to a lot of festivals.
Yeah, sure. No, but I mean, for me, Hammersmith, I used to travel up from where I lived, to go and see bands myself. I think I saw Kiss's first UK gig at Hammersmith, and who else did I used to go up and see a lot of bands there. So, yeah, it's a lot of history, and it's a very special place for me, really, as well, because of going up and seeing all these bands play.
Did you feel that, as a band, it's always, and it's the tough part to understand, some bands do well very quickly, but unfortunately, most of them fall down after that. And there's a lot of bands who it's more quiet at the beginning. They have some tough year. And then with time, people realize the impact they have and how great the music is. It's the same for Saxon. I mean, you have such a tons of fans now. People know your discography, know the album, which was more harder back in the days.
Well, I mean, the band sort of hit big, back in the day, eventually. But, it's like every band has its ups and downs. Bands go through these periods. I mean, we had periods where, when the grunge thing hit, a lot of regular metal bands got killed by that, So, yeah, we were down during that period for a while. But it's like every band has this sort of fluctuation thing that happens all the time. And I think, and the other thing is, we've just kept doing what we do. We survived through the low times, and we've come out the other side probably better, because we survived it, and it made us sort of stick together. And, and I think, as you say now, again, I think we're sort of on and up again, really.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with the new record, as many people you mention it, because first of all, I'm surprised every time, not that I know you were releasing such strong records, but I mean, it's getting just better and better. And it's impressed me to see band, after all those years, being able to release what I call a fucking masterpiece. For me, it's
Wait.
really a masterpiece.
Yeah, I think it's just the case. We just sort of enjoy being in a band together, and the five of us. The lineup now is what makes Saxon. It's been together for quite a long time, this lineup now. And I think one always gets better at playing. I mean, I know personally I'm still improving all the time, technically with playing, because it's just, the more you do it, you improve. I think, you learn more. And I think generally the band's doing that, and, the writing gets better. And so, we're just really glad people sort of still want to come and see us and buy the CDs, albums, whatever. And it's great,
I think that, with time and the age and the experience, you got less pressure between everybody in the band, because it's not the ego thing anymore. It's just
That's
playing
right.
and the fans. So I
That's
think
right.
it really help when you do a record to not rush yourself and stress, and there was so many money involved and
Yeah.
all those negativity. I think it brings down a lot of records, because you're not that focused. You're just thinking of the other things around that. But I think that when you're just focused like you did,
Yeah.
that's when you release great records.
I mean, the other thing as well, we had a lot more time to spend on this because of the pandemic.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, but, because originally the record company wanted to release it in 2020, I think it was. They wanted to release it the following year. I mean, I did the drums at the end of 2019.
Oh, okay.
But we changed. I mean, we changed some things later on, arrangement and stuff. But the basic tracks were done then, and but then the record. So the idea then was to do everything else and then release the album. But the record company didn't want to release the album because we couldn't tour because of the pandemic. So in the time that we would have taken to finish the album, we did the Inspirations album, the covers album, which was a lot of fun. That was great, actually, because everyone just put in tracks that we liked and everything. And that was great. That was just like, yeah, let's just have some fun, which we did. But it gave us more time because we couldn't tour. It gave us more time to sort of really look at how this album was coming together, and we could spend more time on, on the instruments and everything and the sounds.
And the cover songs are amazing. And it's fun to see your influence and what you enjoy and the way you do it, because you do it in a way. And it brings something to another level in some songs. And I really like it. And like you said, you were able to do that. And maybe that if you were release the records and do the tour, that record will never see.
Exactly. Or maybe it would have come out, some other, maybe we've been talking about doing something like this for a while, but, this was the chance, this gave us the chance to actually do it. I mean, we've done cover versions on albums before, Ride Like the Wind and stuff like that. But this was like a sort of real thing to give everyone a chance to sort of say, I like these songs, they influence me, what about this? And someone else would say, well, I like these because they influence me. So it was nice to have sort of, everyone's influences in there.
The thing now is it's pretty more rare that band choose to create a new song, something totally different from what it is. Back in the days, it was something more normal, like you said, at this 7/7, there was the huge explosion of punk, but the way you play it with Saxon, you bring something totally different. Iron Maiden was a different beast. You were a different beast.
Yeah.
But everybody in the scene were working together. And I think that's why it's still accurate those days. You create something so strong that just grow up with times. And even with grunge or whatever, you cannot destroy that, that force that you build, and those fans that are still there since the beginning of the band.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's you talk about the fans that have been at the beginning, but we've got a lot. I mean, we're getting young fans all the time as well, which is really healthy. So, these last two shows we did, there are a lot of young fans in the front row, and they're singing all the songs. It's great. It is. It's great. I don't even know those words, half of them, but they're singing them. But no, it's great. It's really cool watching them. I love it. So, but I think Saxon sound did sort of vary in some places, because sometimes when you work with different producers, they see a different thing for the band. So whereas with these last few albums now, we've been working with Andy Sneap, who's great.
Yes, he is.
He is. He's brilliant, and I say this before, he really understands what we are about. We've had producers before that maybe try to steer us in a more commercial direction, or in a different direction from what the band is live. But Andy really understands us, and he knows what we're like live, and he gets that in the studio. He gets the power and the sound, so it's great. I mean, it's just a perfect combination.
That's the thing, and that's the tricky thing. As a producer, you really have to be fans of the band, or really know the guy and the direction they want to take. You don't have to force anything, and that's a really tough job. But you really have to let the flow go and just adjust it, that it sounds good, because you don't want to change anything in the dynamic of the band. That dynamic that you create, you build, through show and everything. So I think in every band he worked with, it really nailed the spirit of the band, and he's not there to destroy anything, just to let you know that he's there to back up everything.
Yes, exactly. That's it. Yeah. In the past, we've had other producers that have they want us to sound how they want us to sound, if you understand what I mean, and it's like, what? But no, as I said, we've got a good combination now, everything with Andy, and it's great, and we love working with him too. He's fun to work with, and I think the whole thing it's hard work, but I think the whole thing should be fun as well. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it.
It's true, and there's a lot of band that lost that fire, that passion, and they're still doing it. We felt that. The fans know that when you go see a band and it's fake, they know that since the first song.
Yeah, they know they're just going through the motions.
And when we talk about Saxon, people are like, oh yeah, it's serious, because they take you seriously, because what you bring them is the balance of having fun but being serious, doing something that you want to achieve, something, like you said, push your own self and do something different each time.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's exactly. We are bloody serious.
I love so much that expression. It was my favorite expression. First time I heard that was Bruce saying that in Quebec. You're bloody good, and I'm like, yeah, I love that.
No, I mean, so, and again, the other thing again with this album, for instance, we had a lot more time. I mean, for instance, if you look back at, let's see, Rock the Nations, for instance, the management. I mean, I love that album. I do, because it's really raw.
I think.
But it's it's heavy, it's raw, but it's not very refined. But I still love it. But the management gave us 10 days to write that album.
Oh my God!
Yeah, 10. we came off tour and they said, you got 10 days and then you're in the studio. It was like, what?
And that was a huge problem at the times, because a lot of bands are kind of disappointed of the records because they did it in such a rush. And when I know that and I listen to some records, I'm like, wow, it didn't sound like you rushed yourself. It was done in 10 days.
Yeah. No, I think we did it. I think with the time, I think we did a great job on it. So,
totally.
I'm still with that time limit, and I'm very proud of that album.
It's a record, and I think that even if it was rush and everything, you guys were so tight, and I think you were really ready, that we don't fail that. And like you said, we take it more in the raw version of the band, and that it's kind of different from everything else, you know, because you always been reinventing yourself through every records, and
Yeah,
that's an excitement every time when the new
yeah,
record announced. I was like, how it's gonna sound this time? It's always
yeah.
Saxon, but you know, there's variety in that, and that's what I love. It's really original.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. I mean, we did Rock the Nations. We did it in Holland at Visselord Studio, and Elton John played on 2 songs on the album,
Yes.
and Elton was in another studio in the same complex. But it
Oh,
was, oh yeah, he was there with his band, and the crazy thing was they weren't getting any work done because his band were always in our control room listening to us. I think his producer had to sort of, put the hammer down and say, come on, we've got work to do.
love Saxon, but guys, keep
Yeah.
our guys. They're too busy with you. They need to be in the studio. That's amazing. And how's Hilton? I know he's an open mind guy, but
Oh, he was really funny. He was great. Sometimes he used to come to the studio, and he'd be wearing like a long raincoat or something, and he'd say, look at this, and he'd sort of open his raincoat up, and he was wearing something like you'd wear like a flower top you'd wear in the Bahamas or something, and matching shorts. It was hilarious. Yeah, yeah, he was great. He was great fun.
And you know, British, you have such talent. It's not that huge if we look at it, and there's such. And I think that the most creative artists came from Britain. You know, American was pretty good, but when they do drugs and everything, they die. You survive from everything, and you know, I think that it's, I don't know, the talent, the amount of talent is crazy. Did you see that, you know, when you started up? Did you feel that environment was so creative and so different than, you know, other place in the world?
No, I mean, it's funny because I think sort of a lot of basic rock music came from the blues, which comes from America. You know, um, so for instance, a lot of musicians were influenced by Americans. So I think no, to say that Britain's got more, no, I don't agree with that really. I mean, Canada's had some greats. I mean, look at Rush, And funnily enough, just about an hour ago, I was listening to Kim Mitchell.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've got all his solo albums. I love his guitar playing. It's brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really into that too. That's cool. And
Saga.
Yeah, you're
Love
right.
Saga. So, don't knock Canadian musicians. There's some brilliant musicians there. Brilliant.
Maybe like you, because I'm from Canada. We don't see that. We felt that there's something, but we don't really see. But I think that there's so much brilliant band, and I mean a lot of band that influence our whole scene. I mean, Black Sabbath is the base of rock and metal, and everything
Yeah.
is. When you listen to Black Sabbath, you get almost everything, you know. And I
Yeah.
mean, you know, Ben, as Deep Purple, Iron Maiden, you guys, you pave a different road, and I think that yeah, American and us in Canada see that, and we're like, okay, we can be original and different. We don't have to follow a
Yeah.
direct to have fans.
No, that's right. No, you are. I mean, as I say, I used to love. Oh God, what was Kim Mitchell's band called?
Uh,
Oh God, there's a starter. Come on, you're Canadian. You should know this.
you're right. Wait, it's oh damn, I'm I've got a blank.
And no, I mean, so they were. I had their albums. They're brilliant. I love them. But I think he's a superb guitar player. Brilliant. So you got some great guys coming out of Canada.
I think
And they've been. The number of bands that, for instance, like Rush have influenced, musicians that Rush have influenced. So it's not just the US; it's Canada as well.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because the US is it's so big and we heard about them a lot, but you're
Yeah.
right. Canada has a beautiful scene. But for the first time, I think in our history, we got a huge metal scene right now. I mean, back in the days there was a few band, you know, it was a really small scene, but now it's getting more
Yeah,
recognition in a way, and really young band, you know, people in their
yeah,
20s, 30s,
yeah,
doing and touring the world. So it's pretty
yeah.
cool to see that, you know, there's a new wave coming. I don't know if it's that in Britain right now.
No, there's always sort of, musicians going around and learning stuff. We hear stuff all the time. So I think it's quite sort of quite healthy. I think the music thing's quite healthy with people learning and writing stuff. So I'm always interested to see what comes out, because I listen to everything. All sorts of music. The only thing I don't listen to is rap. So I hate it. But if people like it, that's fine. But I don't.
Uh, for me, it's Kiss. I was never a fan of Kiss. I respect their legacy, but I was not a huge fan of their ego.
Oh, right, okay. No, I was a huge fan of the Image.
Yeah.
I just love the Image. It was great. But no, I mean, there's some great stuff coming up all the time. Sometimes when we go into rehearsal studios somewhere, we'll hear a band somewhere else playing, or even some bands that are sort of, I mean, it's been a bit difficult because of the pandemic. But before the pandemic, you go down to the pub and there'd be a great band playing, or even if it was just a duo or something, just a great guitarist. So there's plenty of great musicians around.
Was it? I think it was Max Webster.
That's it. You got it. Well done. I was trying to think of that. Yeah.
The hamster was running in my head.
Yeah, yeah.
Canadian, and I don't know that.
Well
I know
done. Brilliant.
the name. It's
Yeah.
Max Webster. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Great. I love that. I love that band. Brilliant. Brilliant band.
I think they broke up at the start of 80, something like 83 or maybe
Something
82.
like that. Yeah. And well, I mean, Loverboy they were Canadian, weren't they? There you are, another great band. Look at how successful they were. Great songs. Brilliant.
It's true. It's true.
And they're,
Thank
and
you.
they're still going, aren't they?
Good. And it's so cool to see that you're still fans of music. That's another thing. I think the most interesting musicians are the ones that are open minded, that don't close door. Because I met a lot who, oh yeah, I'm just into metal. I don't care about punk. I don't care about that. I don't care about pop music. But the most interesting and the most talented musicians are really, open minded. And I think it's the case with you. And we felt that through the drumming. You don't have that typical metal drum, or you play.
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not really. I'm not really what I would call a metal drummer. Really, I mean, when I was sort of, I was more when obviously when I started, you had all the metal bands came out, so you were trying. I mean, Bill Ward was a big influence on me, you know. But then later on, I sort of really got into the original prog in the 70s, and so some of those players were influencing. I used to love some of my favorite drummers actually were Italian drummers.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean the drummer he's still there, the Italian band PFM. I don't know if you've heard of them. I mean, they've been going since 71, 72. I mean, they're still going, and it's a bit like a sort of Phil Collins with Genesis. They're Franz Di, the drummer, is now the lead vocalist.
Oh.
So he gets out the front, and they have a second drummer, and then they get up together and stuff. I mean, the hours I used to spend practicing the PFM albums. Oh my God, it used to drive my parents mad. and then because I'd have headphones on with the thing and just play along to them, and then I sort of got into fusion stuff, like Chick Corea, and
Yes.
those are my influences more than metal, actually.
Wow. Is there a time when your parents said, you broke our ears, but that was worth it?
I'm trying to think, really. No, I mean, it's yeah, I think they kept sort of inspiring me to play and everything, so they were all right. But it was funny though, because I had my drum kit set up in my bedroom, and we had a couple of dogs, And the dogs, as soon as they saw me going near the drum kit, they ran out the room. I didn't even have to hit him. As soon as they saw me going to it, it was like gone.
Oh no, he's getting under drum again.
Yeah, exactly. We're going out.
This is so funny, our parents see something, maybe it's something that annoyed them at that time, but after that they understood that it was in your DNA and you were born for that. And to see you evolve as a human being and as an artist, and that, I'm sure they were really proud of what you did.
Yeah. No, it was funny actually, because the very first gig I did with Saxon, I was with another band before Saxon, with Toya, which was like a sort of new wavy, a bit like Susie and the Banshees sort of thing. They were a bit like that kind of band, And when I joined Saxon, the first gig was in my hometown, right? And I'd bought tickets for it.
For the gig you were in?
I was going to see it, But I mean, the band I was in was big, the Toya we were a big band, but they asked me if I'd help out, because I think Pete Gill had hurt his hand or something. And anyway, I went, but the long and the short of the story is that at the time I was still living at home. So I remember, after the gig, I went, back to my parents' house, and I woke up in the morning, and my mother came in and said, that was a good gig, wasn't it? And she'd bloody well gone there and hadn't told me.
Surprise guess. She went, but you didn't know about that.
No.
Wow.
And the funny thing was, she went there, and our family doctor was like, they were friends, they were really good family friends. They went there and they were sitting there as well.
Did you said like cursed word and everything, and said, oh shit, they were in the crowd, I shouldn't said that, or
oh no, I wasn't curt, because I didn't have a microphone, but it was just so funny when she said to me, yeah, that was a great gig last night. And I said, how do you know?
Yeah. Wow. Do you remember the first gig, not with the band, but before you joined Saxon?
The first gig I ever went to?
Yes. You ever play in?
Well, I mean, the actual first gig I ever went to see, the first serious gig, was Grand Funk Railroad in Hyde Park in London. It was a free concert.
Really? It was free?
Yeah.
Imagine how people could pay for that now. You can travel in time, but it's $200. Go for it.
Yeah, it was Grand Funk Railroad. Humble Pie was supporting.
Wow.
When Peter Frampton was still in Humble Pie. And there was another British band called Heads, Hands and Feet on, who were the first band on. They were brilliant too. It was great. And that was my first ever gig.
Wow.
And I went to. Sorry?
How it went?
It was brilliant, because I love Grand Funk Railroad, when they were still the three-piece.
Yes.
The original band, great,
That's amazing, because it's an era I can't see, and
sure. And my second gig was Black Sabbath on the Masters of Reality tour.
Oh.
Right. And then the third gig was Uriah Heep.
Wow.
I think it was Demons and Wizards tour, or Magician's Birthday. I can't remember which one.
My mother was pretty conservative, and I found one day she got vinyl. She were hiding in a box in her closet. And she got Black Sabbath, and I'm like, you listen to Black Sabbath? And she's like, yeah, I've got my time too. And I'm like, how dare you change?
Brilliant.
And almost like she didn't listen to a lot of it, like collector.
Yeah. It
freak
was
out.
fun. I mean, it was funny. I mean, my mother was quite sort of musical, not from playing, but she liked music. Whereas my father wasn't musical at all. He didn't really. But his favourite ever song was Hocus Pocus by Focus. He loved, whenever I used to play that on the turntable, he loved it.
You mentioned Elton John. You guys play with a lot of band. Is there a band that you were, or a couple of bands you were fans, and you play with them, and you felt like it's surreal that I'm here? What I'm doing here? Why me?
Yeah, I guess really, it's like, for instance, Judas Priest. I think, although we've known Priest for a long time. I mean, I think when we were doing. I seem to think when we were doing Power and the Glory, recording Power and the Glory, and obviously the other guys knew them anyway. I'd never met them, and KK came to the studio because they were in Atlanta, I think, or something. So that was great, I'm trying to think really. No, there's, it's just generally what I like is that generally there's a lot of respect amongst bands, and it's great, and you're all sort of brothers in arms. Obviously you get some people that have got the big egos.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's in any business. I think that's in anything. So you get people that behave like dicks, shall we say? Yeah.
Be a dick.
But generally, everyone's great, and we're all there. I don't see the point of being nasty with people, or sort of. We're all there for the audience to have a good time.
Yeah,
that's what we're there for.
Metal fans have a lot of respect. It's not a scene where people are fucked up. We're in our 30s, 40s, or 50 or whatever. I think people are they respect the band, and they just have to have fun, and when I see Saxon fans, there's people that are really intelligent, have good works, they have kids now and everything. So I don't get it to playing like the ego thing. It's a choice. It's a choice that you do, but I think that at the end, if you're cool with the fans, because if you take like 5 minutes, and I'm sure you did that, just taking 5 minutes. Hey, I'm Nigel from Saxon. Thank you for liking my music. You change the guy's life forever. You're gonna remember that moment, that 5 minutes that it took of your life.
Sure.
You're gonna remember that for the rest of his life.
And it's the same way with me. If someone, it's it was meeting. I mean, one of my favorite bands, when I was younger and learning was Vanilla Fudge. And I finally met Carmine, and that was great. It's brilliant. Carmine, absolutely. Yeah, it's great. We're like good friends now, so it's brilliant. And Vinny, his brother. There's no need to be a dick in this business.
I don't think so. And it's for everything, work, people that have works and, have some, power. And that's the problem with human. We have so much, it's tough to deal with that, that power that we gave, and some just go in the wrong direction. But I think with Saxon, we always took the fans first, and that's why they're still there, and that's why it's still accurate after all those years.
I always say, about the fans, that we really appreciate the fans because they're the ones that put us where we are. And we never forget that. So we really appreciate that,
Like I said, I read the Iron Maiden book. They were saying really cool thing about you guys. First of all, that they love playing with you, and that, there was not much band at that time that, past the time, challenge, that are still there now, and, still accurate, as I say, that release great records and everything. Is there any band that you miss from that era that should have been maybe more well known?
I'm trying to think, really. I mean, it's like, Diamond Head are now getting up there now, which is great. I mean, they're a great band. They're a lovely bunch of guys. They're getting up there. I think another band maybe was Tigers of Pantang.
Oh yeah, I know them.
Yeah, they did. I think we we did a festival in, I think it was in Germany, and they were on the bill, and it was, oh, maybe it was our gig. I can't bloody remember. It was, and it was really nice to sort of meet the guys. You know, I think it was Rob was the guitarist. I think he was the main man, so he was, you know, it was great to finally hear, you know, see them and talk to them and everything. So that's cool. They're another band that sort of got away, sort of thing, didn't get up there. But yeah, both them and Diamond Head, I think. But they're both sort of making progress again now, I think.
Yeah,
You know?
and I think that, you know, any Metallica fan should know that without Diamond Head, there would be
Oh
no.
yeah, definitely.
You really influenced them, and of course Black Sabbath too. If there's no Black Sabbath, there's no metal at all.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's exactly right. I remember listening to the very first track on the first album. You know, I went to a record store where you still had the booths you could listen.
Yeah.
And I said, "Can you put this on?" And they put it, and I thought, "Whoa!" That first track, Black Sabbath, I was like, "Oh my God, this is great!" You know, so I was a fan after that straight away. You know.
Do you listen to new music, or you're more into, you know, the old stuff?
I listen to everything. Hold on, just let me turn my light on a minute. It's getting a bit dark in here.
It's the interlude.
That's a little better. But no, I mean, I listen to all sorts of stuff. You know, I listen to new stuff. But it's always, and someone says to me, "What have you been listening to?" And I keep thinking, "What the bloody hell have I just been listening to?" I can't remember. As soon as this interview finishes, I go, "Damn, it was them," you know.
I'm the same. I listen to a lot of new stuff. I'm listening to every new release. Punk, metal, alternative, whatever.
Exactly.
Rock.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. I like.
Emery got lost in the process of throwing names. They're just too much.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, there is a lot of stuff out there, but no, I mean, I'm sort of listening to, you know, new stuff that's there, and then I go back to listen to old stuff, you know, like really old stuff, like the first Chicago album and things like this. You know, really listen to all this stuff. So, no, I sort of listen to a wide range, you know.
Cool. I'm really tuned to Clash right now. I've got. I always loved the band, and I know the Clash since many years. Listen to every record. I'm doing like the discography thing right now.
Oh, cool. No, great. No, great band. Great. I mean, I was a big New York Dolls fan.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I did because I'm doing like story punk where I tell the story of band, and a lot of people in Quebec and Canada don't know well the story of the New York Dolls. So I did the story.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I read a book on, I can't remember who wrote the book, but I've just read a book on the Dolls and what happened and everything. And the other band I liked was MC5.
Yeah. A lot of people say that they start up the punk movement in a way. Because of the motherfucker on the records.
No, they're a great band, and the original Stooges, you know. I mean, I think their second album, Funhouse, is one of the greatest rock records ever, sound wise and everything. You know, I know everyone goes for the next one, Raw Power, which I think David Bowie produced or something. No, for me, Funhouse absolutely kills it.
I think so. It was like a pure jam. Like when Bowie came, it was Bowie. So we all know that something interesting that came out of that. But the first, there was no expectation, nobody behind that.
The first two Stooges albums, I think, are the best.
Yeah,
but that's just my opinion. You know, I mean, I still listen to Funhouse. I love it. You know, I mean, the first track, what's it called? Down on the Street, I think it's called. Oh my God, when that kicks in, it's like, whoa, brilliant. The guitar riff is just great. You know.
You mentioned being in a new wave band, you know, in the times where punk were really changing into new wave. I think like the Dam is a good example. Were you into that music, or it was just playing and it was more for the gig?
No, I mean, I was into that sort of thing. I wasn't really into sort of bands like the Sex Pistols or anything, although I come to appreciate them now. But I was listening to more sort of, so I suppose it really wasn't, around the same time that you had, after the punk thing, you had the new wave thing, and then you had what they called power pop, I think. So I was listening to a lot of the early stuff like Cheap Trick.
Yeah,
They were all in this power pop thing, Blondie, all that type of stuff. I mean,
it's
there was
funny.
television.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, I love television.
yeah,
Richard. Richard
yeah. I
Love.
mean, all those sort of bands. Like, oh God, what's it? Talking Heads. You know.
It's funny how people try to define and put music in a square, but when we talk about it, everybody is the same. It's still music. So in a way, whatever you choose to play, it's all
Yeah.
influenced by something. There's always a start, and then everything goes in different ways.
Yeah.
But when we look at that, when you listen to the Beatles, for example, everything is there for the next, thing and the next thing and next thing. So it's
Yeah.
cool to see band are aware of that, and that, like you said, like I said, that you're open mind about that, and there's no like, oh, I don't listen to punk, I don't care about that, I was in metal.
No, that's right. I mean, it's like the same thing. I mean, for instance, you might like a band. Say there's a band you really like, and they might go, well, our influence is we like this. So then you go off and listen to what they liked. So you find something else. You either like it or maybe you don't like it. But I mean, for instance, it's like Led Zeppelin. I mean, with Sandy Denny sang on, what's the song called? Is it Battle of Evermore or something? I think.
I don't remember.
Whatever song she sang on Led Zeppelin 4, I think it is. She sang on that. Some Led Zeppelin fans are going to kill me because I can't remember the name. But no, so after that, then I listening to that. So then I started checking out. She was in Fairport, a band called Fairport Convention, which were a folk rock band, but they're great. So that way you find other avenues.
That's what I love. I do the same with cinema, with director and everything. Which movie he produced? Oh, he did that, and then
Yeah.
you learn about that. That's the beauty of learning. With Carpe Diem, after all those years experience with the band, is it more hard or is it more easy to create a new record?
Oh, I think I mean, it's not easy. I mean, it's always hard because you've got to come up with the goods. We don't like releasing anything that is substandard. So you've always got to really concentrate on, when you're doing it. As Biff says, Biff gets off on guitar riffs. That's where it starts. It either starts with a guitar riff or a melodic chord progression or something.
I'm falling out.
That's how it starts. Did you fall over then? Because I didn't.
Did you listen to me, Eric, or you're just falling up?
Yeah.
But that's cool. So you took the riff and then you create the music, and at the end the lyrics.
It depends how it works. I mean, sometimes, someone may come in with complete, almost complete songs, or someone may come in with, I mean, you can't just go into a room and go 1, 2, 3, play. Someone's got to have some idea. Someone's got to have some spark. So then you start sometimes we get in a rehearsal room and we just jam a riff round or something. And then you sort of take the riff and maybe change the feel of it or the groove of it, speed it up, slow it down, change it. That's how it works. And then Biff, obviously, he writes the lyrics and everything. He has to be inspired by that riff or something. If he doesn't like a riff, then he's not going to write any decent lyrics to it.
Wow.
That's how it works. You
It's
have
really
to be
that came, and you just follow it. And if it don't go in if you don't feel it, you just stop and you try again.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's how it works.
It's very natural way of creating, and that's what I felt, when I listened to mostly the records, that you guys
Yeah.
were having a hell of fun, but you said you
Mm.
you try hard, but not too
Oh
hard.
yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah,
well balanced.
it's hard work, but it's got to be enjoyable at the same time. I mean, it's like recording. If you've done a great track recording, it's like, oh yeah, brilliant. That sounds great. And you're pleased. You've worked hard and you've got a good result at the end of it.
Wow, it's a tricky question because it's just the start of maybe getting a normal life. But the tour, is there any tour plan? Is there any chance to see you around Canada and Quebec?
We hope so. We hope so. I mean, I know at the moment we've got festivals. I think festivals are coming in at the moment for the summer. That's mainly for Europe and the UK. Then after that, they're booking a UK and European tour. So hopefully after that, then an North American Canada tour will happen. Yeah, it's great because we love coming over there. We love playing there. It's great, but it's all down to promoters there. So put the word out. We want to come over, but you've got to ask us. We can't,
I
you know,
will. Make sure of
you know.
that. I will, because we have such great festival here too, and
Yeah,
there's a huge tons of fans in Quebec and Canada, and they say that
yeah.
Quebec is the fortress of metal. Make sure it's the fortress of Saxon.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to, but I think the last time we played was it Montreal. I think with Judas Priest, I think was the last time we played. So yeah, it's about time we came back. So hassle promoters and booking agents and get us back, please.
Yeah, and we want Saxon as a headline this time because we want to hear like 2 hours and more of Saxon, and I'm
More?
sure.
What are you trying to do? Kill me?
And it must be a challenge to choose the song, because you have such a big catalog of songs.
It
And
is. It is. It's very difficult. There are certain songs that you have to play.
yeah,
And then the other thing is, and then other things is other some songs are bigger in different countries than in others. So, for instance, you go to a certain country, they expect to hear that song. You go to another country and they expect to hear that song that may not be in the set list, but that's the one they have to hear. So you have to lose something else. I mean, if it was down to people, we'd play for about 5 hours, I think, because they want to hear everything.
I know, it's impossible, but
But it's always difficult to put a set list together.
yeah,
But you mustn't forget, you generally go out on tour to promote the new album. So
of course, we want to hear the new.
a big section of the tour's got to be the new album.
It's cool. Thank you so much, Nigel. I'm a fan since I'm born, not since they. But I always been fans of the British metal, and like I said, I discovered you guys through Iron Maiden,
Yeah.
and I've got hooked. I've got hooked because it was different, it was strong, and it still is. And congratulations with the new records. And I mean, being such, you know, badass human being as you are, I'm sure it helped a lot in your career. But everything that's gonna happen because people gonna freak out since it's the end of the pandemic. You
Yeah.
deserve it.
Yeah. No, I mean, as I say, we can't wait to get back and get on the road. That's what we're about. We
You
like to
were,
get out there and play live.
and you always been a live band. I mean, the records are
Yeah.
amazing, but
Yeah.
live it's another level.
Oh yeah, live is, again, we love it. So as I say, get onto your bloody promoters and booking people and get us over there.
I will do it. I'm gonna bring your ass in Quebec and Canada, and
Excellent.
have fun with the release of the records. People
Thank
go grab it. It's everywhere. If you don't have money, listen to it, learn the song, go see them, and sing them loud.
Yeah, put it on and turn it up.
And Nigel, thank you so much. It was it's more than an honor. Like I said,
Oh,
I'm a fan, and it's kind of surreal. The kid in me are like, what the hell?
no, thank you for asking me. Thank you very much indeed. Anytime, my friend, anytime. Okay.
Yeah, you're stuck in a false contract that never exists, that you never sign. You come back as many times as you want. And one cool thing that we can do next time is you do a set list. You choose the songs, and I play them.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do something like that. Yeah, that'd be cool. Not just Saxon or different artists or whatever.
Everything you want.
Oh yeah, yes, I'd
Got
be.
2 hours, so you can play a lot of songs.
Oh yeah, yeah. We should do something like that. That'd be brilliant. Yeah.
Cool.
All
I'm
right.
gonna wait for you in Quebec, and of course, let's keep each other in touch. And
Yeah.
Nigel, thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome. Very well. Have you got my email?
No, just tell me, and I'm gonna write it down.
Okay. Well, it's my name, so it's
Yeah.
Nigel Glockler
Yes.
@gmail.com.
Easy to remember.
Yeah. There you go. But
Make sure
yeah,
I send an
the
email with all the details.
sorry. Yeah, but sorry.
I'm gonna send you emails with all the details when I hear the interview, because
Yes.
I'm gonna put the audio on my show, and of course I'm gonna upload the whole interview on our YouTube channel. So I'm gonna send all the details and the links.
Okay. Cool. Brilliant. All right.
And let's set another time. And man,
Yeah. And
thank you. I had,
do this 2 hour thing. This would be fun.
and people
Yeah.
love it. People love it because it show really what inspire you and what you've been through musically, and the fans love.
Can it be any sort of music?
Yeah. We're really, that's the cool thing about the show. We're really open mind about music. So we just play people that have that passion and that fire.
Yeah.
We'll play the asshole.
Brilliant. Great. Okay. I'll look forward to that then.
Thank you so much, Nigel. And
Okay. You
say
take
that
care. Take care and stay safe. Okay.
we will. We will. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Cheers.